afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Cordier, and welcome back to our series, CBT for Everyone. Today we're going to cover Section C, Part 1. This part is called the ABCs of Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. Today we're going to learn how to actually use these skills and incorporate them into our life, into the real world. Okay, so whenever we become aware of something, we think about it. And we talked a lot about this in the FFGs and in our last videos. And we talked about basically how our thoughts lead to our feelings, and then we act on those feelings. The ABCs is very similar to that, except we're going to take it to the next level today. The A in the ABC stands for awareness, what we're aware of. And the B section is the thought section. The C section is for feelings, and the D is, we call it the do column, or the action, our behaviors, right? So right now, say I am writing on the board, right? And you are aware that I'm writing on the board. Now you're going to think about what I just wrote. Geez, what is that squiggly thing he just wrote? What the heck is that? What he's teaching? What is he trying to teach us, right? That thought makes you feel an emotion, which might be frustrated because you don't know what the heck I just wrote, and then you act on that feeling, right, by maybe throwing something at me, or if you were here, of course. All right, so we become aware of something, we think, we feel, and then we act. Now, when we become aware of something, we think three different ways. Okay, so we think negative being this is not a good thing, this is bad. We think positive, this is awesome, this rocks, this is phenomenal, fantastic, I am euphoric, I'm elated. We think positive. Or we think calm. And calm, just, I'm not up here, I'm not extremely elated, but I'm not really, really sad either. I'm kind of right in the middle, right where I need to be. I'm in the optimal zone. Remember we talked about that rational zone right in between. If we're too far up, we become flooded with emotion. We're disabled. We're too emotional. And if we're too down, we don't care, right? But if we're right where we need to be, we're emotional enough to get the job done. Think about test taker anxiety. You go to take an exam or something at work or at school, and you freeze. You're way over, right? But if you just fill in all the bubbles, you say, what the heck, I don't care about this test, you're under emotional. But we want to be right in the rational zone, the calm zone. Just enough emotion to get the job done, and that's what CBT is about. It's about being calm. Right, so that's what the calm zone is. All right, so important to know, when we think negative, we feel negative, and we act negative. And the same for positive, and the same for calm. A lot of people believe there's two ways to feel. You're happy or you're sad, negative or positive. There's actually a third way to feel, which is the calm way, which, again, that rational zone. And that's where we're going to go today. Okay, but first, we're going to try an example with all three. Now, if I was to ask you what is the most important zone here, negative, positive, or calm in CBT, hopefully you would say calm. Positive, believe it or not, I'm not really interested in teaching people. It's not because I don't want them to be happy, but I want them to find positive on their own, right? Now, if you really think about that, this positive zone, when most people come into therapy, they're feeling really anxious or really depressed, and they really want to be happy. So if you kind of look at the scale, the opposite of depression or anxiety. Somebody comes in here, they're very anxious, they want some help. If I was to ask them what is the opposite, they would say euphoric or happy, the extreme opposite. But in the world of CBT, the opposite is not depressed or not anxious, which is another way to say calm, right? And that's a trick that Aldo Pucci does well, and it makes a lot of sense to me, right? So the opposite of depression is euphoric, all right? And the calm zone is the zone we're looking for. So somebody might come in and they're really flooded with emotion. And when you're flooded with emotion, remember, you're over emotional and you're frozen. So you're disabled. There's not much you can do. You can barely get to work. You can't get out of bed in the morning. It's really tough for you. So what we're saying is that once you get your problems in perspective, because see, when you're down here, it bleeds into your entire life. If you're really depressed watching television, you're really depressed hanging out in the basement playing video games, and you decide you're going to go to the beach, well, you're going to be depressed there. It kind of follows you. But once we get our problems in perspective, we start thinking rational. Instead of depressed, we might be sad, and then maybe blue, right? Or instead of anxious, nervous. But you see, we're trying to get as close to the calm zone as we can. It's a systematic approach, step at a time. People don't have epiphanies. They don't drive home and say, geez, that Dr. Courtier, he's phenomenal. I'm all better. I'm healed only in 1 or 2 sessions. It takes work. And the more we repeat these exercises, as you will see today, the quicker our thinking gets, the better we get at it. So once people learn to put things in perspective and think rational, they become emotionally calm, and that will free them up to be happy or elated or euphoric when they go to the beach, or they go to Six Flags with the kids, or they go hang out with friends, at their favorite restaurant, you see. So you don't learn positive here. You learn that on your own, as Dr. Pucci says in Max Maltz, but you learn that on your own once, right, you get your problems in perspective, you find that. But first you have to be clear-headed, rational, and emotionally calm, and then you'll find positive. All right, so we're going to be finishing up in the next clips. We have a few more to go on the ABCs. That's it for this clip. Please hit like when you're done viewing this video. We appreciate you watching this. Hopefully you're getting a lot of help out of this, and we'll see you soon. Take care. You have a great day now. Bye-bye.